Okay, so here it is, the Cambridge Pitt Minion. This particular edition is the New Living Translation versus the ESV large print pocket size. Again, I know these are two different translations, but I wanted to do a comparison. Let me zoom out. Sorry. I wanted to do a comparison video between the two of them because I use both of these, and it might be helpful to some of you guys if you use these as well. Okay, so first off, the Cambridge Pitt Minion. The Cambridge Pitt Minion you've heard me talk about before if you've watched any of my videos. I love the Pitt Minion. I use the Pitt Minion obviously as a travel Bible. That's kind of the way it's set up to be, is to be a Bible that you take on the go with you. And so I will take this particular Bible to hospital visits. Sometimes when I teach at school, I use at various schools, at FCA and stuff like that. I'll use a couple of different Bibles, but this is one that I'll take if I need something to fit in my back pocket. And that's key with this thing. When you go into hospitals and things like that, you want a Bible. If you're carrying a Bible, you want something, in my personal opinion, that you can fit in your pocket, because you don't want to have to be laying that Bible down on counters and stuff in the hospital. So my deal is I really want a Bible that can fit in my pocket. So that's really what I'm going for. I'm looking for something to fit in my pocket, and I'm looking for something I can obviously read. When you get into a Bible that small, your print and your font's going to be really small. So the Cambridge Pitt Minion there's no comparison in covers in these two. No comparison at all. This is a goat skin, very beautiful, feels great. Leather, I love this edition so much, but it's a 6.75 font, so it's a very small font. Reading it is okay. I can read it, but for example, the last graveside funeral that I preached, it was rainy and it was dark. And the passage that I was reading from was hard to see, and I had to keep shifting my body to capture light to see the font. So the font's small. But what this offers in such a compact edition, the way that it is that it has awesome reference. So you have the center column reference. It's a double column. They're both double column. And you have the center column reference, and then they spill over into the corner where they need to, if you need additional references. And in the back it has concordance, and it has maps, and a Bible, a map index, which I've never used a day in my life, but I'm sure somebody likes it. But it has maps, and it has a few blank papers in the back that I use. I like the few blank papers. That's what I really like about this Bible. Leather, it's thin, 2 ribbons, readable font, red letter edition. I could just use this anywhere as far as putting it in my pocket, pulling it out, preaching when I need to preach, put it back in, read scripture. I can do all that. Now, I wanted to get one of these in an ESV, but I pastor a small church. I don't have a lot of funds. I talk about that in my videos. I recently have been making journals on the side, and which has been really cool. I love that. But, I don't have a ton of money, so I can't go out and buy Cambridge Pitt Minions. I have some expensive Bibles, some Allens, and some stuff like that, but I can't go out and buy expensive Bibles all the time. So, not in the budget to get a Pitt Goatskin ESV. So, I went for this. I went for the pocket size, the large print pocket size ESV, just in a true tone to try it out, to give it a test drive to see if I like it, maybe invest later on, in a leather edition. So, this one comes in this just synthetic true tone cover, but it also, you can get this in a top grain. You can get this in a top grain leather as well. True tone, if you know anything about ESV, true tones are nice. They last you for a good long bit. Got leather bits all over this. 1 ribbon, 1 brown ribbon. Okay. Does this lay flat like the Cambridge Pitt Minion? Pitt Minion lays completely flat. This one I've only used a few times, and it's not laying flat. Table of contents, Book of Genesis, chapter 2. I mean, it will open. Now listen, I have all the confidence in the world. The more I use this, it's going to lay completely flat in Genesis chapter 1. I have all the confidence in the world in that. This has so this one is a 2016 text edition, printed in China. This is an 8-point font. I love that. I love the font on this. So this is much more readable to me than the Pitt Minion. Much more readable. Much, much, much more readable. So this, in that regard, I like better. I like this better in that regard. Again, all my opinions, guys, are just that. They are opinions. I know some of you guys are going to be watching this like, this is crazy. Pitt Minion is the best Bible ever. You can't get a True Tone, ESV, large print, compact, and say, listen, it's just my opinion. Please feel free to put your comments in the section below, and, you can vent down there, and I'll listen to you. But anyhow, we have red letter edition also. I like the red letter in the Cambridge better. This is a little bit brighter of a red, but it totally readable. Cambridge I like better. But the font overall I like better in this one. You'll notice something that this one's missing that the Cambridge has, and that's the references. So if you notice the center column references in this Bible, you don't have any references in this one. You have footnotes at the bottom. And so in the footnotes, where the text references the Old Testament, you will get that down here at the bottom, which is really cool. I like that. Okay. In the back, you have a concordance back here. No maps, which is totally fine with me. I'm not looking at maps on this little thing. Okay, and I've added, it has a few glossy pieces of paper. I just kind of pasted these little line pages in the back, and I'm going to eventually fill those in with some things that I like. Left a couple of these blank. I can put a couple more on there. Which one do I like better? Which one am I going to carry more? Well, this one lays flat. I mean, I can just open that right there. That lays flat. This one doesn't quite yet, but it's going to get there. I am going to use probably this one more. I'm going to use this one more. Let's give a quick size comparison here. Let me give an overview. I mean, these guys are basically, excuse the shadowing there, but it's basically the same size. Okay, let's do a spine test. Give you a thickness level here. The ESV is thicker. ESV is quite a bit thicker. It's hard to tell there, but it is a little chunkier. This is a little chunkier. Fits in my back pocket. Of course, the dimensions are slightly smaller, except for the thickness. It's a little thicker. Fits in my back pocket fine. That I gave it the back pocket test. It works. People at Lifeway, I'm sure, thought I was about to steal it. Okay, because I had to test it out in Lifeway to see if I wanted it. So this is the winner for me. And it's the winner for me because it's small and the font is where I want it. That font for me is just going to be easier because when I take my Bible with me, I intend on using it. I intend on reading it. And generally, I'm reading it to an audience. Now, if if I have a doctor's appointment or something and I'm just doing casual reading while I'm waiting, I still might take this one because I'm just reading to myself. But when I'm reading out loud to an audience, larger font's always better. You know that if you've been there before. One of the things that I was kind of bummed about the Pitt Minion, if you notice this right here, I've had this for like a year and a half, and look at this. And this happened after a year of use, not even hard use. Right here in the beginning, it's split. It's splitting. And then in the back, it's doing the exact same thing. And I have a lot of Bibles that do this on me. I don't know why that is. But it is splitting right down here. That's only going to get worse. That was probably number 2 that detracted me from this. I've seen lots of videos out there of people that's had these Bibles for 3 years, 4 years. Matthew Everhart's got all those crash test videos, and his holds up greater, and his is even a calf split. For me, this thing started coming apart pretty quickly, and that was a huge bummer for me, man, because I paid over $100 for this, and I contacted Cambridge, and Cambridge said that that's just normal wear and tear. So when I messaged them back, I said, so you mean to tell me that your $100 Cambridge Bible after a year of use is going to start coming undone? That was a bummer for me. I know that This one doesn't have a guarantee, but their top grain leather has the ESV guarantee. I've never had to mess with their worry-free guarantee. I've had friends that has, and they've had great luck out of working with them. And to me, that's a lot. I really, if I'm paying over $100 for a Bible, I would like a guarantee for at least a year for your Bible falling apart. So anyway, I hope that is helpful. Both very portable, both extremely awesome Bibles. You would not go wrong with either one of these. My personal preference as of the making of this video is I like this one. I will eventually rebind this myself perhaps, or I will send it out to get rebound, or I might just get the top grain edition and skip the rebonding process. I work with leather with journals. I like doing that. I don't know if I could rebind a Bible, so I might just buy a top grain edition. Hope this helps. You guys have a good day. God bless.